NHL history is filled with decorated hockey families. The Richards, the Espositos, the Sutters, the Sedins, the Staals, and at the risk of being too hasty, you might want to go ahead and add the Hughes to that list. With the recent arrival of their youngest brother at the NHL level, all three Hughes boys, Quinn, Jack, and Luke, are now competing on hockey's biggest stage. And given how exceptionally talented all three of them are, they have the potential to solidify the Hughes clan as the preeminent hockey family of the 21st century. That's a tall task for sure, but it's not out of the question. We'll explain why. Sit back, relax, and take this in. This episode is presented by DQ Canada. Alright, let's get into it. In a sense, the Hughes brothers are already unprecedented. They're the first American family to have 3 players taken in the first round of the NHL draft. Quinn, who just turned 24, went 7th overall to Vancouver in 2018. Jack, the 22-year-old middle brother, went 1st overall to New Jersey the following year. And Luke, who recently turned 20, went 4th overall to the Devils in 2021. And just over 2 years later, Luke was called up by the Devils late in the 2022-2023 campaign for his first taste of NHL action, meaning that all 3 brothers were playing in the NHL at the same time. That doesn't happen very often. Countless pairs of siblings have played in the NHL simultaneously, but 3 brothers? That's a real anomaly. The Sutter brothers did it in the 1970s, the Stastny boys did it in the 1980s, and the Staal brothers did it more recently, but it's extremely rare. And what sets the Hughes brothers apart even further is that they're all supremely talented. There's no weak link here. Not only were they all first-round draft picks, but all 3 of them reached the NHL as teenagers, and the 2 older boys have already started assaulting hockey's history books. Quinn, who was named to the NHL's all-rookie team back in 2019-2020, recently became the fastest defenseman in NHL history to reach 200 career assists. He reached that milestone in fewer games than Bobby freaking Orr. And since the start of the 2021-2022 campaign, only 3 defensemen have more points than Hughes, who's received Norris Trophy votes, the award for the NHL's top blue liner, in each of the last 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Jack, the former number 1 overall pick who battled injury trouble early on in his career, broke out in a major way last season, setting a Devils franchise record with 99 points. And his performance early on in 2023-2024 has been nothing short of historic. He's the first player in more than 3 decades to rack up 17 points through his team's first 6 games. The last guy who did it? His name was Mario Lemieux. Ultimately, since the start of the 2021-2022 campaign, Jack has averaged roughly 1.3 points per game, putting him squarely in best of the best territory. And that brings us to our Take This In trivia question, presented by DQ Canada. When you crave happy, DQ delivers. As I mentioned, Jack Hughes now holds New Jersey's single-season record for points. Which player owns New Jersey's single-season goals record? Pat Verbeek, Alexander McGillney, Brian Gionta, or Zach Parise? This is how our YouTube community responded. And most of you got it. It's Gionta, who scored a franchise record 48 goals in 2005-2006 to help New Jersey to a 9th consecutive playoff berth. Alright, let's get back to it. So basically, the first 2 Hughes brothers to reach the NHL are both distinguishing themselves as potential perennial candidates for the Norris Trophy and the Hart Trophy, respectively. And 20-year-old Luke, who just made his first opening night roster, is no less capable. A defenseman just like his oldest brother, Luke is not only the biggest of the bunch at 6'2" and roughly 185 pounds, but according to one of the family's longtime performance coaches, Luke may also be the strongest skater of them all. And the rookie's chemistry with his brother Jack is already helping him contribute in his first full NHL season. It was Jack, after all, who got the primary assist on Luke's first goal of the campaign, a blast from the blue line. And that's what Luke Hughes does. Before turning pro, he broke a 45-year-old record for goals by a freshman defenseman at the University of Michigan, then led all Division I defensemen in points as a sophomore. Like I said, there's no scrubs in their family, and their immense individual upside could eventually solidify the Hughes as the foremost hockey family of this century. Now, to be clear, that's far from a guarantee. The Sedin brothers are both in the Hall of Fame. 3 Staal brothers have each played more than 1,000 games in the NHL, and they even had a 4th brother who had a cup of coffee in the NHL in 2013. The bar is extremely high, but since first appearing on hockey fans' radars as young teenagers, all the Hughes brothers have done, individually and collectively, is live up to the incredible hype. And if they keep going like they have been, their family name will one day go down as one of the most significant in hockey history.